Pod, thank you. Thank you, thank you. The sign of encouragement along our 3-day walk, written by an anonymous supporter of all of the walkers, sharing with us how she missed her mom and thanking us for doing the journey. And every time I stop and I think I don't want to walk 60 miles this year, I think about that sign. Friends who continue to rally around me with their notes, calls, lunch dates, there's a sign, and laughter. Every picture represents someone who has shined in my life, and there are so many more. She shined. Now let me introduce you to Mrs. Rickman. I debated whether I should change her name for this story, but I wanted Mrs. Rickman to be remembered. She wasn't in my life very long, but in our short time together, her light shined so bright for me and many of those around her. Mrs. Rickman was in her early 90s and was a resident at a nursing home that I visited regularly when I was doing work as an ombudsman. She had no children, and her husband Bill still lived at the house that they had lived in together before she got ill with their dog. You would find her sitting in a recliner or a wheelchair when you went to see her because she couldn't lay down. She couldn't lay down, she couldn't walk. She could sit in her chair. She even slept in that recliner. She couldn't see well, so when you walked in, you had to announce who you were, and once she knew who you were, her face lit up. But she was there with you. Now, you may think, how crappy. Living in a nursing home, you can't be with your husband, you can't move around, you can't lay down, but you would never know it. I'm sure at times it bothered her, but she never let on. But what I did know is she loved the Dallas Mavericks, and she loved Dirk Nowitzki. She loved the Rangers, and believe it or not, she loved Tiger Woods. And she talked about Tiger Woods and that woman, and she loved all sports. She loved sharing stories with anyone that visited her, and her eyes would shine as she talked about her early days of marriage, when she would bake, how she would sneak out to the drive-in with her husband. She chose to be happy in light of the situation that she was in. And we often talked about choosing your own attitude. If an activity went on down in the center, she was there. This picture was taken during one of their Valentine's Day celebrations. I remember telling her how beautiful she was, and her face just lit up. But she lit up in my life. Shortly after I found out I had cancer and that it had metastasized, I went to visit her for one last time. Bill had died in the month that I had been away. Her health had deteriorated, and she had reached the end of her time on earth. But her light still shines for me. Her light that loved this life no matter what the circumstances. And what I have learned is that we all have a light to shine. So, how is your light shining? And if it's not shining brightly, what are you going to do to stoke that flame? And once your earthly flame has died, as they all will at some time, how will your light continue to shine in those you love, just like Mrs. Rickman's light continues to shine for me today? For as it says in Matthew, you are the light of the world. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. And I know that God continues to shine his light through the wonderful people that he has brought into my life. To God be the glory. Thank you all so much.
Cindy, we're all standing out here, girl. We're all standing out here for you. She's waving at us. Hey, she's waving. Everybody wave. You know what I love about Cindy? I love, as I sat down and even talked with her, and even hearing her again tonight, what I love is that I stand amazed that she hasn't let this beat her. She's not defeated by it, but instead she could be defeated by it. She could choose her attitude of defeat, as she talked about, but instead she's chosen to fight. As she said, even in her bio, she's going to fight, and she's going to let her light continue to shine through her fight. It's such a great and wonderful encouragement to me, and hopefully to you too. We're going to continue to hear more and more stories of shining and encouragement tonight. But one thing I do want to do before we continue on is get into some door prizes. Would you all like some of that? Okay, I have tickets here. Oh, we've got more. If you have one of these green tickets, I need it. You need it. All right, we got them in the basket? Okay, so let's see. Will you hold this for me?
I will.
You've got a special job. Okay. Our first door prize tonight is everybody like the food? Was it good? Awesome. Wonderful. Well, then you can go eat some more of it, because we have a $25 gift card to Carrabba's and 2 Studio Movie Grill tickets. Oh, so maybe you go get appetizer and then go to dinner? Or maybe you go to dinner and then go get some dessert at Studio Movie Grill? So let's see, who's going to win this one? Reva Reeder. Reva Reeder, thank you. Where are you, girl? Is she? Can you come up here? Come get this thing. Here, I'll meet you halfway. You and John can go have a little date night. That'd be cute. I want a picture. Wonderful, thank you. You're welcome. Congratulations, enjoy that. Well, we're going to get some more of those door prizes later. Don't worry, we got more. On our Legacy website, we gave many of you an opportunity to nominate someone who has shown into your life. And many of you filled out the form on our website, and we're going to share some of those tonight. We're going to ask some people to stand, and they're going to share with us a person in this room that has shown into their life. And they're actually going to go give their shining star a special little gift that reminds them of them. So our first person that is going to share, someone that she has nominated, who shines in her life, is Nelisha Howard. Where are you? There's Nelisha. Amy is going to be my little helper, and she's going to run around too. All right, Nelisha, tell us.
Hi, I'm Nelisha Howard. As many of you know, this last year, I thought I was going to be able to do this. My mom was very ill, and I knew I was going to lose her. But also during this time, I just felt like everything was falling apart at home because I was away so much caring for her. Well, through lots of prayer, I was able to get through it, but also having Cynthia Duvall on speed dial was really ultimately what gave me just a great amount of strength. I would feel like I needed to spend some time with my older children, so I would call Cynthia, can you take the baby? She did, and it was wonderful knowing that there was someone there who could be strong for me when I couldn't be strong for myself. So she always did this with a tremendous amount of just strong peace behind her. She would seek me out. She would, with a great smile, say, how are you doing? And she meant it. And there were so many people who prayed for me, and I'm grateful for all of you, but I just wanted to recognize Cynthia for that.
And Tammy Dillon has someone that she would like to thank. Where is Tammy? Here. Oh, there you are. Hi, friend. Okay.
Well, some of you know my story a little bit that are in this room, but 6 months ago, I was walking through the most challenging time in my life, physically, spiritually, emotionally, in every way, and ultimately, I was kind of diagnosed with debilitating anxiety and ultimately depression. And what the outcome of all that was is I ended up having to really spend 4 months away from Legacy. I'm on staff here, by the way. 4 months on leave of absence, and then really 3 months where I didn't even hardly leave my home while I was struggling with my illness. But in that time, God brought to me a person who I called my little angel of mercy. And I'm sorry, I need to look at my notes because I got to get this right, because I'm only going to get one time to do it in this way, and it needs to be done right. She was the one person who spearheaded an entire prayer team for my recovery. She visited me 2 and 3 times a week.